Have you ever wondered why so many older adults wake up at 3 a.m. and don't seem to fall asleep? You may be standing there in the darkness, staring up at the sky, wondering what's wrong with your body or mind. The truth is, it's more common than you think, and it's not just a random habit or the result of getting older. In this video, we'll explore 5 powerful reasons why people tend to wake up at 3 a.m. and what those early morning wake-ups might be trying to tell you. Each reason reveals something deeper about your body, your health, and your life experience, and by the end of this video, you'll be able to see your sleep in a whole new light. These aren't just surface-level explanations. That is, they're based on real physiology, psychology, and the rhythms of aging that most people aren't even aware of. We'll cover changes in hormones, sleep patterns, health challenges, and even emotional and social influences that may be quietly at work behind the scenes. And we'll do it in a way that's honest, empowering, and deeply respectful of the life you've lived so far. So if you've ever found yourself waking up at 3 a.m. and wondering why, now you're in the right place. Stay tuned until the end, because what you learn here can not only help you sleep better, but it can also help you better understand and appreciate what your body is going through. Now, let's get started. Number 1. Reduced melatonin production. One of the most obvious reasons why older adults wake up in the middle of the night, often at 3 a.m., is the natural decline in melatonin production that comes with age. Melatonin is the hormone that helps regulate the wake cycle, officially called the body's internal clock, and it plays a major role in helping you fall asleep and stay asleep. When you were younger, your body likely produced ample amounts of melatonin each night, allowing you to enjoy long stretches of deep, uninterrupted rest. But as you get older, your body starts to do less of this, and this change can have a real impact on how soundly you sleep. You may still be able to fall asleep easily at night, especially if you've had a full day or a relaxing night. But in the early morning hours, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., sometimes even 4 a.m., that natural melatonin production can dry up too much to keep you in that restful state. You may find yourself waking up, not because of a noise or a dream, but because your brain is slowly shifting into a restful state, without enough melatonin to keep you asleep. This isn't something you're doing wrong, and it doesn't mean your body is failing. It simply means that your internal chemistry is changing with age. What's more, your bedroom environment can make this worse. Even small amounts of light, from a street lamp outside the window, a glowing clock in the bathroom at night, or a hall light under the door, can suppress melatonin even further. Your body becomes more sensitive to environmental triggers as you age, which can make that 3 a.m. wake-up call feel so frustrating. For example, take Haroldo, who is now 72 and has always considered himself a good sleeper. These days, though, he finds himself wide awake around 3:15 a.m. on most nights. He doesn't feel anxious or embarrassed, just fully alert, like it's time to start the day. Once he realized this wasn't a failing on his part, but a normal part of aging linked to melatonin, he stopped beating himself up and started adjusting his habits. He now keeps his bedroom darker, avoids screens an hour before bed, and takes a short evening walk to reinforce his natural circadian rhythm. These small changes help signal to your body that it's still nighttime, and while it's still waking up early, it sometimes learns to work with your body instead of against it. This kind of understanding can be a game changer. When you know that waking up early may not be your fault, but rather a natural chemical change, you can take steps to support your sleep instead of berating your body. That's the power of awareness. It turns frustration into compassion and helps you make more sacred choices about how you take care of yourself at night. Number 2. Shifted sleep cycle and advanced sleep phase. Another significant reason why older adults tend to wake up around 3 a.m. is because of a natural shift in the body's internal cycle, a phenomenon known as advanced sleep phase. As we age, our circadian rhythms begin to shift, which means we may start to feel sleepy earlier in the night and wake up earlier in the morning. You may notice yourself waking up during a movie at night, or waking up without an alarm at night, even on days when you wish you could sleep in. This change isn't just a matter of habit. It's deeply rooted in biology and can become more pronounced with each passing year. In younger years, the body's rhythm is usually aligned with a later bedtime and a time that feels more in sync with the sun. But as this rhythm advances, the sleep cycle naturally shifts forward. You may fall asleep at 9 a.m. or even earlier without meaning to, which means your body has already completed its full rest cycle by the time 3 a.m. rolls around. That's why you may find yourself wide awake in the middle of the night, feeling like you've gotten your rest completely, even though it's still dark. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It just means that your body is operating on a different cycle now. Think of it as a keyboard that has been slowly reset over the years, moving a little further each week. And while this isn't dangerous, it can be frustrating if your lifestyle, family routine, or personal preferences don't align with this new rhythm. There's also a quiet psychological side to this change. Many older adults live in quiet homes or spend more time alone. And this peaceful environment can amplify the body's signals to wind down. Earlier in the day, without the constant activity or noise that might slow down bedtime, your system begins the process of winding down for the night much sooner. And if you're no longer working full-time or following a strict daily routine, the lack of external activities like meetings, walks, or social gatherings can make this internal shift even stronger. Let's look at someone like Charles, who is 68 and retired. He usually eats dinner at 5:30 and watches TV for an hour before going to bed. By 9 o'clock, he is asleep. And by 3 o'clock, his body is naturally ready to wake up. He doesn't feel anxious or stressed, just alert. At first, he thought it was insomnia. But once he learned about the advanced sleep phase, he realized that his sleep wasn't broken. It was simply redeeming. Charles began adjusting his evening routine to stay just a little longer, reading a book in a warm light, taking a gentle walk after dinner, and occasionally calling his daughter for a quick chat before bed. These small social and sensory routines help stretch the dream window, enough to shift the timing accordingly closer to morning. The result? Fewer 3 a.m. wake-ups and a deeper sense of alignment with daily life. This natural shift in the dream cycle is something many older adults experience but few talk about. Understanding it can eliminate a lot of guilt or confusion and offer a more compassionate way to work with your body, rather than fighting it. So if you wake up around 3 a.m. and feel like you've had a full night of sleep, your body may simply be on an earlier schedule now. And once you know this, you can start to shape your routine in ways that support your well-being. If you're still watching this video and finding this information valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to do so and ring the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue to create great content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move on. Number 3. Disruptions related to physical discomfort and health. Another common reason why older adults wake up around 3 a.m. is the body's response to physical discomfort or health issues that tend to arise during the quiet hours of the night. As we age, the chances of dealing with chronic conditions or subtle health issues increase, and many of these conditions have a way of interrupting sleep without setting off random alarms. They creep in quietly, like a bad knee, a full back, or a sort of sprained back. And that's enough to jolt you out of a state of rest in the middle of the night. Conditions like arthritis, for example, can cause you to fall into the same position for uncomfortable hours. You may not notice the discomfort when you first wake up, but after several hours of quiet, those aches and pains can become enough to wake you up. For others, acid reflux in the middle of the night can distract you from sleep, especially if you ate dinner too late or complained too soon after eating. Even something as simple as a dry stomach, muscle cramps, or a minor change of room can trigger a slow awakening around morning hours, when your body's defenses are already more sensitive and less forgiving than before. One of the most common reasons older men wake up at 3 a.m. is the need to urinate. As we age, the defenses become less resilient and the urge to relieve oneself may come faster and more frequently. You may not feel it during the day when distractions keep your mind occupied, but at 3 a.m., in a dark, quiet room, the sensation becomes impossible to ignore. And by the time you get up and move, even if it's just to the bathroom, your body may have already shifted from deep rest to alertness, making it harder to fall back asleep. There's also the issue of medications, which many older adults take regularly for blood pressure, heart health, or back maintenance. These medications often come with side effects, such as frequent urination, changes in body temperature, or increased sensitivity to sound or light that can silently affect sleep. You may not even realize the connection between your medication and your sleep pattern until someone points it out or you start tracing your habits more closely. Take Eleanor, for example, a 76-year-old woman who has always been a relatively slow sleeper. In the past few years, she began waking up consistently around 3:30 a.m. After months of thinking she was just getting older, she spoke to her doctor and discovered that one of her medications was affecting her hydration levels and increasing her nighttime trips to the bathroom. With the help of her doctor, she adjusted her donation time, added some lifestyle changes, and now wakes up less frequently and falls back to sleep more easily when she needs to. The important thing to remember here is that physical wake-ups don't mean your body is failing. They're actually signs that your body is still doing its job. It's responding, alerting, adjusting. These signs can guide you toward better self-care, more informed choices, and a deeper sense of trust in your own awareness. Waking up at 3 a.m. may seem like an inconvenience, but it can also be a quiet shift to check in, and make small changes that support better health and deeper rest. Number 4. Lifestyle wake-ups that change your sleep rhythm. Another powerful but often overlooked reason older adults find themselves waking up at 3 a.m. has to do with long daily habits. Make small routines and choices that, over time, quietly cool down your internal rhythm. Many older adults naturally start eating dinner earlier, going to bed earlier in the evening, and experiencing less physical activity during the day. These similar adjustments add up and can signal to the body that the night should start earlier, which inevitably pushes your wake-up time earlier as well. When your days become quieter, especially after retirement, your body no longer receives the same external adjustments it once depended on, such as walking, making mistakes, or engaging in physically or mentally stimulating tasks. Without these adjustments, your body's wake-sleep cycle can begin to drift. A quiet, dark night with minimal stimulation can cause your brain to produce melatonin earlier, inviting you to sleep before you even realize that 9 p.m. has arrived. And, since you're sleeping earlier, your body simply finishes its rest earlier, waking you up in those early morning hours, usually around 3 a.m. There's also a subtle relationship between eating timing and sleep quality. Eating an early dinner, while generally healthy, can sometimes cause a nighttime crash in blood sugar levels, especially if there's no lunch before bed. This crash may not feel like hunger, but it can still keep your body from dreaming. Similarly, caffeine consumed even early in the morning can linger in your system, especially as your metabolism slows down with age, sublimating sleep abruptly and making you more likely to wake up in a state of disarray. For someone like Walter, who is 74 and recently retired, these changes have grown gradually. His days have become less structured and his nights more relaxed. He found himself eating lunch at 5 p.m., sleeping in the recliner during the evening news, and going to bed before 9 p.m. at night. Without realizing it, his entire routine had changed a few hours earlier. Before long, he was waking up around 3 a.m., confused by the fact that he was wide awake before the birds had even started singing. After reflecting on his routine, Walter began making small adjustments, adding a short walk in the afternoon, reading in brighter light at night, and avoiding waking up after dinner. These changes helped push his natural window just a little later, allowing his body to settle into a rhythm that more readily aligns with his waking time. What's amazing is how often we forget the power of routine. Our bodies crave rhythm, daily patterns that act as signals, telling the brain when it's time to rest and when it's time to wake up. When these signals slip or change, the internal routine can lose its groove, leading to older, more fragmented sleep. But by noticing these patterns and making thoughtful adjustments, it's possible to guide the body into a sleep cycle that feels more restorative and less disruptive. If you're still watching this video and are finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to do so and ring the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue to create great content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move on. Number 5. Emotional and psychological relationship. Sometimes waking up at 3 a.m. has less to do with the body and more to do with the mind. As we grow older, the emotional homes that were once hidden by the honking of daily life can begin to emerge in the silence of the night. Those early morning hours when the world is quiet and distractions are few often become the time when unfamiliar worries, regrets, or desires begin to sink in. You may find yourself resting, not because of noise or pain, but because your mind is quietly searching for memories, uneasy thoughts, or subtle anxieties that you didn't realize were still with you. This kind of rest is different from the anxiety that can strike in youth. It is quieter, more reflective. It may feel like a soft sound in the background, a sense that something is bothering you, even if you can't name it. The mind, when not actively engaged, often reaches back into old relationships, past decisions, suggested losses, or unexpected words left unspoken. And because the body is no longer rushing from one responsibility to the next, there is room for these thoughts to resonate a little louder. It is also important to recognize that loneliness can play a role here. For many older adults, social circles shrink over time. Children move on, friends get busy, and routines change. The day may be full of light and activity, but night brings silence and, with it, an awareness of that emotional space. This kind of loneliness doesn't always feel heavy. Sometimes it simply shows up as a longing for connection or an empty hunger for someone to talk to when the house is quiet. Consider someone like Gloria, who is 80 and married. During the day, she is busy tending to her garden, calling her children, watching her favorite shows. But around 3 a.m., she often wakes up. Her thoughts return to the moments she shared with her ex-husband or the worries she keeps open during the daytime hours. At first, she thought something was wrong with her sleep, but over time, she began to understand that her waking was not about sleep. It was her heart asking to be heard. To support herself, Gloria has started keeping a small journal near her garden. When she wakes up, she sometimes writes down whatever is on her mind. Nothing fancy, just a few honest thoughts. She has also added a quiet nighttime ritual, like listening to soft music or writing a short note to a friend. These small acts of reflection and connection have given her emotions a gentle outlet, easing her mind and helping her drift off to sleep more peacefully. The truth is, the human heart doesn't follow a strict schedule. It remembers what it wants to remember, asks the questions it needs to ask, and sometimes does all of this at 3 in the morning when everything else is quiet. But this isn't a mistake. It's a sign of depth. If you find yourself waking up and feeling reflective, it could mean that you are carrying wisdom that is ready to be acknowledged. You live through joys and despairs, and these experiences shape not only your memories, but your very sense of self. Rather than viewing these wake-ups as something to fixate on, try approaching them with curiosity and friendship. What is your mind trying to tell you? What do you need to give voice to? What part of you needs a little grace, even in the dark? Sometimes the most meaningful kind of rest comes not from ignoring these moments, but from honoring them. In doing so, you may find not only a better sleep, but a richer understanding of yourself at this moment in your life. Final thoughts. As we conclude this video, take a quiet moment to reflect on what you just heard. What resonated most with you? Was it the shift in your internal time zone? The subtle changes in your health? Or perhaps something deeper? An emotional rhythm that only shows itself when the world is quiet? Each of these 5 reasons offers a different lens through which you can understand your morning wake-ups. And none of them indicate anything wrong or broken. In fact, each reveals how deeply your body and mind are still working, still responding, still adapting as you move through this state of life. There is a quiet power in understanding what your body is trying to tell you, especially in the gentle hours before morning. Instead of seeing 3 a.m. morning wake-ups as a fraud, you can start to see them as messages, gentle signals, reminding you to listen a little more deeply to your needs, your habits, and your heart. You are not alone in this experience, and you are certainly not the only one searching for answers. But with knowledge comes strength, and with strength comes the freedom to make small, meaningful changes that support better rest, deeper comfort, and a stronger connection to your own rhythms. If you recognize yourself in any of these situations today, know that you are not just acting, you are evolving. And with that evolution comes the opportunity to rest more intentionally, to care for yourself more gently, and to hug yourself each morning with a little more understanding and peace. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue to create great content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you in the next video.